this thing on? What up, YouTube? Kelly again. We're here in Kelly Land garage. Got a little project for today. I figured I'd let you guys watch, and then I got an update here on the white truck. Got a pile of parts here that's been rolling in for the 12 valve. Figured I'd show you guys. It's taking a little longer to get everything here than I'd hoped. I'd hoped to be working on it this weekend, but that's not going to happen. But I'll give you a rundown of the plan. Basically, I already have 4K governor springs. Got some 60-pound valve springs here. I'm going to throw in it so that I can safely use all the rip'ems. Got a power-driven diesel valve spring tool. Got a set of power-driven diesel chromoly locks and retainers. Help to keep everything where it's supposed to be. And then I got some 025 delivery valves, going to help get us some more fuel. I actually have some power-driven diesel stage 2 push rods that I'm going to throw in it. Those are back ordered, unfortunately. And then I actually just ordered a Super 9 HX35 Super 9 turbo. Should be here in a couple weeks. So that's what I'm most excited for, to get on there. A couple other things. We got this. This is kind of a barring tool. Let's see if you guys can see it. Bolts onto the harmonic balancer so that you can just throw a 1/2-inch drive ratchet in the front of it, turn the motor front and back instead of having to use the alternator or lay under the truck to use the barring tool. And then we've got our Blue Point spline socket to take the delivery valve holders off and change out our delivery valves. Then this big box is our HX40 downpipe for the Super 9 when it gets here. But hopefully a couple more weeks that stuff will roll in and we can get started on that. For today, though, not nearly as exciting. We're going to be servicing this old girl, the old John Deere 425, getting her ready to go for mowing season. I got a John Deere service kit here. I'll get her opened up and show you guys what all comes with that, and then we'll get started on servicing it. Alright guys, run you through what all's in this service kit, what all we're going to do to this here mower. This is a home maintenance kit. You can get it from any John Deere store. They can order you one for your mower specifically. I usually like to be frugal and get things as cheap as possible, but this is one of those deals. It's just really convenient, and it comes with everything you need all in one place. It's worth the extra, probably 10 or 20 bucks. But let's get into her here. We got a couple quarts of oil. I'm going to change the oil. We got a new oil filter. I wish they'd put that in plastic or a box or something. But new air filter, new fuel filter, and a couple spark plugs. Real simple deal, shouldn't take us long. We'll grease a few things up while we're at it and then throw the mower deck on. I actually just took the snow blade off this morning after blading some gravel around. All the snow's gone now. Mud's finally starting to dry up a little bit, so that's good. It's a nice, probably 55, 60 degrees out today. It's a good day to be working in the garage. This old girl here, she's a John Deere 425. We're not sure what year it is. It came with the house. She's seen some things and some stuff, but she gets the job done. Got a level arm a little bit every spring. She got the old hood pops up there. And she's pretty greasy. We'll get you guys an up close view of this thing. Maybe. It's got top of the line tripod there. Gonna have to work on that in a few. But here she is. First thing we're gonna do after opening that hood is take these engine covers off. Just gotta kind of pull on them and turn them 90 degrees. This oil come off there. You do not want to break these. Any of you guys that have one of these mowers probably know all the heat off the engine and just age makes this plastic really brittle. I've actually replaced this side once already, but they just don't make them like they used to, I guess, because she's already getting pretty rough around the edges. Oh yeah. Greasy. Greasy. You can see. Nice little crack there. This hood, it's just as brittle. Corner pulled off of it one day when I went to grab her to lift up on it. She's seen some things and some stuff, like I said. Looks like we could probably use a valve cover gasket on this side, but we're not gonna do that. Looks like this one's starting to leak now too. Good, we can just do them both at the same time when that day comes. There's our oil filter. Down here, which is actually pretty neat, you see that little brass looking deal? That's actually like a plug, but it doesn't come out. You loosen it up and thread it out, and it actually is like a valve. As it backs out of there, it allows the oil to flow through this hose. This hose runs down low. You can change your oil without making a big mess. Yeah, pretty nice. Probably be worth it if this thing wasn't already covered in oil. Of course, we got our spark plugs, fuel filter, and then I actually have a transmission filter over there. I'm gonna change that way out right there. Yeah, the old time lapse probably wasn't very interesting, huh? We got the fuel filter done on the other side, and we got the spark plug done on the other side. Got the spark plug over here, change the oil, go from there. First thing you're gonna do here, you're gonna pull the spark plug wire off, and it's gonna fight you because it's old and brittle. And then you're gonna break it. Oh, got it. Move him out of the way. Put your handy dandy 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter because you can't find the right socket, which is normal. Generally, you're gonna wanna make sure there ain't a bunch of dirt in here so you don't drop it down in your cylinder. It's a lawnmower. I'm not the right guy to be doing this, be showing you how to do this. Tyler is actually quite the lawnmower mechanic, but I ain't sure what's going on here. But this is a John Deere mower, but I believe it's a Kawasaki engine, K-Series, 20 horse V-twin, liquid cooled. There's a spark plug from the other side. She looks, you know, a lot of oil on it, but otherwise pretty healthy, it looks like. Go grab the new one real quick. Here's our new boy. I'm not gonna gap him, I'm just gonna make sure it ain't touching, that's fine. Get some of the shmoo out of here. I think the threads are fine, I think it just had some shmoo getting in there and blocking up that socket. You wanna be real careful with spark plugs when you're playing with them for a lot of reasons, but one especially is if you strip out this hole, you've just ruined your day. You're gonna have to get it helicoiled or get a new head or something. So you wanna, you know, make sure the threads are engaged nice and whatnot. Yeah, there's just so much junk in that hole that won't let my socket in. When you tighten them up, you want them snug. This isn't something that you want to come loose, and you know it's sealing the compression of the cylinder, so it needs to be tight. But you don't want to go cranking her down and, like I say, strip out them threads or break the spark plug. We got her. Put your plug wire back on, and you're done. All right, moving on to changing the oil here. Got a gear wrench back in this little hole on our little valve jobber. It's a 10 millimeter. Apparently she's gonna cooperate this time. Don't need a gear wrench. Just gonna loosen her up till we start getting some oil. And now she does want the wrench. That's okay. I don't really know how often you're supposed to change the oil in a lawnmower. Tyler'd probably curse me, but I do it once a year, usually in the springtime. Mowing that, or not mowing, but pushing snow with it. Probably pretty hard on the old oil. Running at full throttle for a couple hours at a time. I guess shouldn't be any worse than mowing. Yeah, that's some nice looking stuff there. She's creamy. Get a closer look. Yeah, there's very little lubrication left in that, and it actually feels a little bit chunky. I don't see any metal flakes or anything, but she's maybe just come out of that hose there. Had a nice grit to it there at first. Oh, we'll get the oil cap off of here. Pull the dipstick. That ain't supposed to happen. Let her drain a little better. So this is new for this year. It looks like a little bracket there that's supposed to hold this dipstick engaged, and the freaking bolt hole broke. You can see right there where it's supposed to go. See that little slot? That's the other half of this bracket. I'm gonna have to fix on that, but it also looks like there's maybe, yeah, there's an O-ring right there. She ain't doing much anything anymore. That's gonna need fixed before we start mowing, but probably not gonna happen today. And then also that I forgot about, these bolts that hold the air cleaner on are stripped out. Give it here. They're stripped out and not holding the lid down on the airbox, which is not cool, because then you'll get grass and dust and schmoo inside of your air filter. And judging by the lack of dirt on this air filter, I'd say that's exactly what's been going on. I've been feeding her the same stuff she's been mowing. I would say that John Deere's probably already closed for today. But when I went up there to get my service kit, I was talking to him about replacing this plate, but I don't know if they can get this bottom piece, but I'm not for positive that that's what these thread into, or if they don't thread into that metal part below them. We're gonna have to dig into this a little deeper, and we'll get back with you. Gotta stay hydrated. For those of you wondering, no, it's not liquor. It's orange juice, or orange Kool-Aid. Okay, so we got that cover off. Whole lot of schmoo in there I need to get cleaned up before I put it back together. Like I say, about the worst thing you can do to an engine is feed it dirt. So it looks like these wing bolts, whatever you want to call them, do thread into this plastic piece. And the good news is John Deere said that they still make those, so that should be a cheap and easy fix. That dipstick, we'll get that figured out. But back to changing our oil over here. Just gonna change this oil filter out here. I don't know who put that on last. Kelly. Actually, pretty freaking engineerful, intuitive, neat is this little funnel here. Keep you from making a mess, because once again that matters on this thing. But pretty cool, pretty cool. Yummy. All right, we're back. We got our new oil filter. Make sure that this rubber O-ring is there and in place before you go threading her on. Some guys like to lube up that new gasket. I generally don't. Probably should, but I don't. But they rarely leak, at least on cars. Yeah, yep, got it. All right, that oil's done draining, so I'm gonna get this valve closed back up. One of these days, maybe I'll have a nice mower, but I really don't deserve one the way I treat this thing. My yard's nothing but hills and walnuts, twigs. I just mow right over them, no big deal. All right, we got that closed up. clean up this little mess on this thing, because that's, you know, that's going to even put a dent in it. But we'll get the oil filled back up, get the new air filter on. Even though the air box is messed up, I want to be able to move this out of the garage. It'll probably take a few days to get the new plate in. Get the oil back in it, change that transmission filter, and then we'll throw this deck on. Alright, we got our oil here. John Deere brand, Turf Guard. I'm sure it's made by the lowest bidder. I'm sure it's made with quality ingredients. It's 1030 flavor, 946 milliliters, 32 ounces. I thought they were quarts. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get this banged in here. I think it's supposed to have like 1 3/4, but we're gonna go ahead and just dump them both in. Helpful tip. I didn't know this until recently, but the bottle has this shape to it. A guy wants to, dump it sideways or dump it spout first. But if you actually lead with this lower shoulder of the bottle, you have a lot less messes. Maybe that's something guys are supposed to learn in driver's ed, something, I don't know. I just learned it like a month ago. One down. About 10% of what grows in my yard is actually grass. Ooh, scared the dog there. Put this old cap back on. Get this plate thrown back on here real quick. I was gonna clean it up, and then I decided why waste my time. Ooh, strip that one out. It's fine. Grab this new air filter. These days, I'm gonna be getting some insulation and drywall on the walls and the ceiling and whatnot. Get a heater in here, maybe even an air conditioner, I don't know. Probably just gonna settle for a ceiling fan. But is that something you guys would like to see? Leave a note in the comments or something like that. Seems like something you could maybe take the time out of your day to do. You're already here. There's our new air filter. She's pretty fancy. Keep the nut there. It's a good place for it. Let's check the radiator before we get too far away. She's full. I see this coolant bottles. This reservoir's about empty though. Not sure what that's about, but we got some universal stuff laying around here. If you are using off-brand antifreeze, make sure it says universal. Works with all makes and models. Or just use tap water. Another thing you want to do that I almost forgot about is there's this little screen right here. Goes in front of your radiator. The fan pulls air in from up here by your legs through the radiator and then blows it across the motor. This guy goes in there to help keep your radiator cleaned out. She was plugged up with cottonseed pretty good one day when I was pushing snow, so I figured it'd still be clean from when I cleaned it that time, but it's worth checking. Suppose we can check on this oil here to see. Yep, she's way too full. It's good. It's fine. Half of it'll leak out before I mow anyway. Then we'll fill it back up with some Rotella. Get these engine covers back on and get that filter changed. I also got to take the chains off of this thing. That'll be fun. All right. Yep. It's good to go. By the way, have you guys met Jason yet? He's our editor-in-chief. He's pretty cool. He's really shy. He's really kind of shy. You guys should start, I don't know, giving him a hard time in the comments section. Get him to show his weaselly little face. He's got a pretty cool project he's gonna get started on here sometime soon of his own. So I imagine you'll see him then. Grab the grease gun and hit this front end a little bit before we get underneath of her. When you grease stuff, especially something that gets abused like this, make sure you get enough in there. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna pump this thing until grease starts to come out, and then you're gonna give her about 40 more pumps. or 4, however many that was. And what I like to do is not clean up any of it, so then it just kind of melts and helps protect everything. This transmission filter, it doesn't come with the kit. You gotta ask for it extra, in case anybody's wondering. But if you have one of these mowers and you've never changed it, probably a good time. Very good time to do that. Last time I got one, it was actually John Deere. This is in a John Deere box, but it's a Tough Torque. Neat. Alright. Get this thing topped off back here. Got a little dipstick that never wants to come out. Yep. She's dry. Miraculously, I actually have the correct fluid that's supposed to go in it. I know why that is, and I'm going to share it with you because it's a neat little trick. But this high guard, it's low vis high guard transmission and hydraulic oil can actually be used in place of automatic transmission fluid. It's a little bit thicker and has some kind of better chemical concoction in it. I saw this tip online and I tried it when the 12 valve still had an automatic, because the torque converter was really sloppy and it was just kind of had lazy shifts and stuff. So dropped the fluid out of it, put a new filter in it, and put, I don't remember how many quarts it took, but I put 2 quarts of this with the rest of the new ATF. Fixed it right up. Shifts were nice and crisp for what it was. I mean, it's a 47 RH slush box. But the stall on the torque converter was probably like 300 or 400 RPM lower, which was pretty impressive. Long term, I don't know what it would do, but I do know like some of the pulling truck guys will use the high guard, the high viscosity, really thick stuff. I think the transmission kind of has to be purpose built for that, but neat little tip if your transmission's being lazy. Try this out. Or don't. I'm not responsible for any damages that might occur anyways. Let's see if we can do this without making a giant mess. It's a slow process. COVID. Yeah, a little more yet. We've reached peak transmission fluid level. That's excellent news. All right, cats and dogs. Onto the deck and getting these chains off. This is fun. All right, guys, I think we got her wrapped up. Let's see if we can get her started. Give her fuel pump a minute to fill the carburetor back up since we changed that fuel filter. See what we got. Starts right up. She started right up. Definitely tell them new plugs made a difference. New air filter always makes things run better. We'll cruise out in the yard and make sure the deck does its thing when we kick it on, but that's gonna about do it for this one, guys. Stay tuned. A couple weeks, I should have some parts showing up for the 12 valve. Get to working on that. Should be a little more exciting. Be working on the Subaru a little bit here and there. Eventually we'll start fixing on some rust on that white truck. Blake's got a lot of cool shit going on with the Envoy. He should really be starting to knock things out on it. He's making a lot of progress. Let's see, Jason's getting ready to start in on his project, and Tyler is always interesting. So guys, stay tuned for some more exciting stuff from Idiots Out Wrenching Around. Thanks for joining us. Catch you on the next one.